Coming up, more dead dolphins recovered near Venice, why officials there say the problem appears to be getting worse. Plus, 4 teens arrested for armed robbery, why police believe they could be responsible for a string of recent thefts. And school almost here, what Sarasota County is doing to make sure no student goes hungry this year. Your Suncoast News starts now.
You're watching ABC 7 News at noon.
Hello and welcome. I'm Scott Dennis. Thanks so much for joining us. Our top story today at noon, red tide's deadly impact continues to wash ashore Suncoast beaches. This morning, at least 3 more dead dolphins have been recovered. That's 9 dead dolphins found in just 2 days. ABC 7's Rebecca Fernandez joins us live now from Venice with more on the story. Rebecca.
Scott, it's just a heartbreaking sight here on the waters. Just a few moments ago, the Venice Marine Patrol towed in 2 dead dolphins right here through the South Jetty to take them to a nearby boat ramp where Moat is waiting to pick them up. And I'm about to show you some images that I shot earlier today, and as a warning to all of our viewers, they're very graphic. Earlier this morning, I was with the officers when they responded to a report of a dead dolphin on a private beach on North Casey Key. After they securely tied it to the back of their boat, they received another call of a dolphin washed ashore on Blind Pass Road, just about 100 yards away. And at around 1:30 this morning, Moat Marine recovered a 3rd dolphin from Turtle Beach, making the total number of deceased dolphins recovered since Tuesday to 9. And I'll be with the Venice Marine Patrol throughout the rest of the day, and any new information I receive, I'll be putting it on all of our social media platforms, on Facebook, Twitter, and we'll keep updating you on our website as well. For now, live in Venice, Rebecca Fernandez, ABC 7, your Suncoast News. Back to you, Scott.
All right, Rebecca, thank you so much. Those images of dead marine life washing up on Suncoast shores have caused tourism to suffer. Visit Sarasota reaching out to local businesses this week to get a clearer picture of just how it's affecting their bottom lines. They passed out a survey to various hotels and vacation rentals in the area, and out of those who responded so far, 75% have seen cancellations.
What are you seeing? Are you seeing cancellations? If so, are they day of cancellations? Are they cancellations for the future?
Visit Sarasota planning to send out that same survey again next week to compare the results. Red tide just doesn't kill marine life, it impacts people as well. We talked to 2 doctors who say the toxins are very strong and when inhaled can cause coughing, sore throat and scratchy eyes. But it goes beyond that if you go into the water.
People should avoid being in the water during this season because of the red tide. The toxin is very potent, and when inhaled can cause a lot of upper and lower respiratory symptoms.
The closer you are to it, the more irritating it's going to be, but it's typically not a life-threatening situation rather than getting a sore throat and some red eyes.
Doctors at Sarasota Memorial Hospital say they have not had anyone come into their emergency room with physical symptoms of red tide. But if you decide to go to the beach, doctors recommend bringing a mask if you have asthma, COPD, or emphysema. You should just stay away altogether. And you can find all of our coverage of this red tide outbreak on our website. Just go to mysuncoast.com/red tide. Good check now on our weather. Meteorologist Josh Stone in for John today. And of course, FWC released its latest report on red tide outbreak just yesterday.
Right, and it did not look very good. We had a lot of red dots on it. Let's show the graphic right now. And yeah, this is something you just don't want to see. And stretching from Manatee County all the way down to Charlotte County, we have problems. And the other issue also are the winds, because we're going to have more of a southwesterly westerly wind that's going to transport that air that has all that junk in it that we're breathing in that makes our eyes water and cough and the smell. And we're going to be in this pattern for a couple of days now. So that's not very good for us. Let's try to find something positive here. We have sunshine right now in our forecast. It's warm. Upper 80s, low 90s right now. Not much on the radar other than around the Nature Coast. That's around the Big Bend of Florida. But in the afternoon, we could get some storms going, and those will be inland. I'll have more in the forecast, the red tide, and what's going on in the tropics when I come back.
All right, Josh, thank you. New at noon, the Manatee County Sheriff's Office investigating the murder of a Bradenton man. Investigators say 33-year-old Christopher Boston was found dead along Bishop Harbor Road in Palmetto. A driver noticed his legs in the grass and called for help. Investigators say Boston had injuries that show he was murdered. Detectives want to talk with anyone who may have seen something suspicious in that area last night between 7 and 10 o'clock. Call Manatee County Crime Stoppers at 866-634-TIPS if you can help. Sarasota police arresting 4 teenagers on armed robbery charges today. 2 18-year-olds, a 14-year-old, and a 16-year-old all busted this morning. Investigators say a man was held at gunpoint while riding his bicycle home on East Cornelius Circle in Sarasota. The victim says a car pulled up behind him or beside him, and 2 people got out wearing black ski masks, one of them armed with a gun. When they realized he had nothing of value, the teens took off.
It's unknown at this point if the suspects knew the victim or if it was random. However, there was some property that was recovered inside the car that these 4 individuals were in, and so we have reason to believe that they might be connected to vehicle burglaries in that neighborhood.
Police later tracked down their vehicle, arresting 18-year-old Orlando Delufu and 18-year-old Russell James, along with a 16-year-old and 14-year-old minors. Sarasota County schools serve thousands of meals every day, and those schools have a plan in place to avoid any food waste. Here's ABC 7's Jackie Kelly with a closer look.
Sarasota County School District tells me that there's a couple different things they do to make sure that food isn't wasted in the cafeteria. One thing they say they do is to make sure there's a bunch of different options for students to choose from so that there's something that everyone can enjoy. The district says that if there is extra food in the cafeteria, they do their best to save all of the good food and use it for an upcoming day. People in each school also complete a food production record every day to monitor the food being served in the cafeteria.
We have a very precise idea of how much food we need to produce each time that we serve a meal, and if there is food left over, it typically goes up on the serving line the next day.
The district tells me while there are no food laws in the state of Florida about food waste, they're still very mindful about wasting food because they do have limited funding. Reporting in Sarasota, Jackie Kelly, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
Thank you, Jackie. New at noon, school is, of course, nearly here, but it's never too early to help your students get higher ACT and SAT scores. ABC 7's Stephanie Webb has some tips on how to help. Stephanie?
Well, Scott, of course, better scores equal better scholarship opportunities and less money out of your pocket for college or trade school. First, which should your child take, the ACT or the SAT? Well, either one works these days. Colleges and universities take both, and they are both seen as a predictor of how well they will do in college. One tip, check out the admission requirements for the schools that your student is interested in to see if they list a preference on those tests. Now, the best advice for students to perform well on these tests, it all comes down to one word.
Just reading is so important to get those skills up so that when they're reading through the passages in the SAT and ACT, they're able to identify words in context, that they're able to answer comprehension questions.
Also, both the ACT and SAT websites have some free practice tests and tips. I put them all online at mysuncoast.com. Scott?
All right, Stephanie, thank you so much for a link to those free practice tests, plus the latest on what you need to know to get your kids ready to go back to school. You can download our app, find it at your app store under WWSB or My Suncoast. Well, the Loveland Center of Venice dedicating a new and improved garden this morning at their facility in Venice. This was actually put together by an Englewood boy, a Boy Scout, trying to become an Eagle Scout. Jonathan Dreyer made the elevated flower and plant beds handicap accessible. He says he was surprised at the recognition he's received for his work.
I felt a little overwhelmed, so I thought I wouldn't be getting this sort of recognition, but it feels great to get it now.
Loveland Center relies so heavily on the support and dedication of its community. And really, this is just a testament of community pulling together to help not only a young scout obtain his Eagle Scout Award and transform this space, but support Loveland Center that has been a vital part of the Venice community for 56 years.
Jonathan raised more than $3,000 for the project. He says it feels great to help his community. Well done. Still to come in your Suncoast News, why a Florida mother is warning parents to be on the lookout for a potentially poisonous caterpillar at public parks. And later, new developments in the case of a missing Iowa college student when an eyewitness is speaking out to say about the night Molly Tibbets went missing.
It's been about a month, and I can honestly say I've seen the change in me. I went from being a depressed girl who didn't want help to this happy, caring girl who loves helping other people. I just really hope that people that went through what I went through get the help that they need, because their story is important and they are loved. Thank you so much for everything.
This is an important message for anyone with Medicare. You may be eligible for an all-in-one Medicare plan that combines hospital, medical, and prescription drug coverage together with extra benefits that may include dental, vision, hearing aids, and much more. Some of these plans have a $0 monthly premium regardless of your income. That's right. For one low plan premium, or in some cases a $0 premium, you may be able to get coverage for your hospital visits, doctor appointments, prescription drugs, routine dental care, eyeglasses and contact lenses, hearing aids, and possibly more. Today may be the first time you've heard about this type of Medicare plan. The advisors at the Medicare.com helpline are licensed insurance agents who will explain more when you call. Call now to see if you qualify. Call the number on your screen now. Call now to see if you qualify for these benefits. You worked hard for your Medicare. Now is the time for your Medicare to work hard for you. Not affiliated with or acting on behalf of any government agency or program.
The following message is brought to you by Mesobook.com.
People who have been diagnosed with mesothelioma have many questions. How did I get this disease? What are my treatment options? How will this affect my loved ones? You need answers, which is why we offer a free book written by medical professionals who have treated mesothelioma.
Call toll-free at 1-800-777-1366 or go to Mesobook.com.
Ready to open up new opportunities as an electrician? Don't do it yourself. Team up with Mr. Sparky instead. We're locally owned and looking for people like you. We offer our electricians great perks that you just won't get going it alone. And whether you're an apprentice, a master electrician, or somewhere in between, we have a spot for you.
Best decision I ever made.
Apply online or call today.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
Welcome back. I'm meteorologist Josh Stone in for John Scalzi today. This Thursday afternoon, the radar is quiet right now. Later on this afternoon, I think we'll have some activity, but those will be isolated showers and storms, and those will be well inland, east of I-75 for our inland counties. So look out for that if you're heading in that direction. 88 degrees right now, so it's warm. We have mostly sunny skies, at least along the coast. Inland, there's a little more cloud cover. And of course, the big story right now is the red tide. This report came out yesterday, stretching from Manatee County to Charlotte County. The report shows high conditions of the red tide, and the winds are not going to help much, at least for the next couple of days, because we're forecasting the winds that come in from the west and blow that smell of the dead fish and the irritation that makes your eyes water and cough. It's not going to be a good situation for the next few days. We just have to bear with it. As far as what's happening with the flood warning, the Peace River at Arcadia, that flood warning has been extended, so if you're heading in that direction, just keep that in mind. I want to show this, the water vapor imagery. We show this a lot, but you can see this twist and turn here. This helps to depict certain things in the atmosphere, what the atmosphere is doing, troughs, ridges, etc. But this is a counterclockwise swirl. It's an upper level low taking place over the state of Florida, and that's also helping to ignite this moisture coming in off the Gulf of Mexico, along with this area of high pressure that we've been monitoring. Started off in the northeast part of Florida, actually off the coast of the northeast sector of Florida, and has slowly been drifting southward, which is helping to bring that return flow up from the south, southwest, and then eventually the west over the weekend. But that's also going to aid with some shower activity inland with the heating of the day. But unlike the last few days where the sea breeze convergence has taken place right along the coast, and we'd have those showers in the afternoon right on top of us who live on the coast, with a westerly wind, that's going to bring that sea breeze further inland, and the convection will take place further inland and then push eastward. The tropics right now, well, we have one disturbed area here. This is Tropical Storm Debbie, still hanging on to life, not by much though. It is tracking to the north and to the northeast and away from land. Let's talk about another shower that's going to be taking place over the weekend, the Perseid meteor shower. And this is a big deal because the moon will set early and we'll have 60 to 70 meteors an hour, and it peaks after midnight. All right, let's show you the 7-day outlook, and tomorrow kind of a fair day for shower activity, not much, but over the weekend those showers will get going, and also back to school day on next Monday the showers will take place, but mostly inland, and then the winds change and they'll be coming up from the southeast and the east again, and then we'll have more coastal storms take place mid to late next week. Scott?
All right, Josh, thank you so much. And Health Smart, a Florida woman stung by a poisonous caterpillar is now warning others about the possible dangers in public parks. This happened over the weekend in Port St. Lucie. Tara Forbes was underneath an oak tree watching her son on the playground when she says she started to feel like she had a sunburn. But when the burn quickly became excruciating and her joints and bones began to hurt, she knew something was wrong. Her only clue to what had happened, black and white fuzz, evidence of a poisonous pus caterpillar. Now Forbes wants parents to know about the possible danger and says to make sure your kids know about the problem too. Are you overweight, pre-diabetic, or thinking about trying a low-calorie diet? ABC's Stephanie Ramos has details of a new study you need to hear about in today's Medical Minute.
Men and women tend to try different methods when trying to lose weight. And of course, eating less makes the pounds come off and can improve energy. But researchers from University of Copenhagen in Denmark found that men on a low-calorie diet benefited more than women, and not just in the results on the scale. 2,000 overweight, pre-diabetic people all showed great improvement in weight and insulin resistance after 8 weeks of the low-calorie diet. Both genders lost around 10% of their weight, but men lost more fat and had a better heart rate at the end. Men also had a larger decrease in waist circumference, improvement in blood pressure, and better blood sugar control. Women had slightly lower good cholesterol, lost fat around their hips, but lost lean muscle mass too. Experts say that weight loss, no matter how great or small, is the first step toward curbing type 2 diabetes and heart disease. Men seem to get more benefit, which could help them decrease their chances of getting diabetes or heart disease a little bit more. But women also had better health. With this Medical Minute, I'm Stephanie Ramos, ABC News.
All right, time for lunch now. Let's head over to the kitchen and say hello to Faz Farohi, who's joining us today in the kitchen. He's the owner of the Blue Mangrove Grill in Palmetto. Faz, great to see you again. What are you making for lunch today?
Good afternoon, Scott. Today I'm going to be making you one of Blue Mangrove's most popular salads, the Crab Louie. It's a refreshing iceberg salad, and I'm going to top it with some jumbo lump crab meat. And I'm also going to be making the Crab Louie dressing to pair with the salad.
The Players Center invites you to explore the family dynamic in the classic story of On Golden Pond. The Tony Award-winning play opening August 9th is funny, thoughtful, and brutally honest. Call the Players at 365-2494 or visit us online at theplayers.org. On Golden Pond is calling you.
Did you know that a dirty Cpap system could make you sick? If you knew what could be growing in your mask and hose, it would keep you up at night. Now, SoClean.com has released the world's first automated hands-free Cpap cleaner and sanitizer. With its patented design, SoClean is fast, effective, and hands-free, killing 99.9% of all Cpap germs and bacteria. Try SoClean now through this special TV offer, risk-free for 30 days. Just call 800-604-0398.
The SoClean works, and it's a really effective product, and I couldn't believe how easy it was to use.
SoClean works on all popular Cpap machines and masks, destroying Cpap germs and bacteria without the daily hassle of washing your system by hand. Just place your mask in, close the lid, and walk away. Voila! Sanitized and ready to use. Try SoClean risk-free for 30 days. This is a limited-time offer. Call now, 800-604-0398. Or visit SoClean.com today.
So, how many of us feel completely confident about our financial future? Let's hear some specifics. Yes, go ahead.
I don't want to be a burden to my kids. When my husband died, it took almost all of our savings to give him a proper funeral. I honestly don't know if there's enough to bury me, let alone cover expenses should something happen.
Okay. Let's talk solutions. One thing you may want to get in place is a guaranteed whole life insurance policy from United of Omaha Life Insurance Company, which is a Mutual of Omaha company. This is affordable coverage, which provides a cash payment which can cover funeral expenses, bills, and other financial needs. Most payments are on their way within 24 hours. Yes, sir.
I need medical exams, things like that.
No medical exams. If you're between the ages of 45 and 85, you can call this number or you can go online and apply for coverage up to $25,000. United of Omaha Guaranteed Whole Life Insurance. Call or go online now.
Another pair of satisfied emotions. Looks to me like elation and maybe some amazement. It's part of the Honda Summer Spectacular event experience. You could say satisfaction comes standard here, just like the Honda Accord comes standard with a luxurious, roomy interior. All at the Honda Summer Spectacular event.
We see it all the time.
Visit your local Honda dealer and test drive the Honda Accord, 2018's North American Car of the Year.
New developments in the search for missing college student Molly Tibbets. ABC's Whit Johnson talked with an eyewitness who says he saw Molly jogging earlier that night that she disappeared.
I've seen her, it would probably be 3-4 times a week. She'd jog down the street.
For the first time, we are hearing from the man who believes he could be the last person to have seen Molly Tibbets before her mysterious disappearance. In an exclusive interview with ABC News, Devin Riley says the University of Iowa student went jogging past his house about 8 p.m. July 18th.
She jogged down the street, up the hill, and it was just nothing of it until I heard somebody was missing, and then it really hit me, and it's like I haven't seen that runner since then.
He called the police with the tip after seeing her picture on the news. Law enforcement would not confirm or comment about any potential witnesses. But Riley says he was questioned by investigators, who he says also conducted a thorough search of his home.
They were really polite and didn't assume, I don't think, and they just did their walk through and out in less than 10-15 minutes. So.
The 3-week search for the 20-year-old growing more desperate. Authorities sifting through towering cornfields and nearby farms. Still no sign of Molly. A reward now topping $300,000 for information leading to her safe return. This video is believed to show Tibbets the day before she went missing, showing off her magnetic personality, loved ones describe, and beaming smile. All painfully missed in the small town of Brooklyn, Iowa, where everyone knows each other.
It's gut-wrenching to know that, I could have my daughter out here and I go inside for a minute and she could be gone. You just do not expect it from a town like this.
That's Whit Johnson reporting. So far, police and family members say they still do not have any solid leads on where Molly could be, but they are staying hopeful for her safe return. All right, over to the kitchen now. Josh is there with our good friend Faz Farrohi from Blue Mangrove Grill in Palmetto. Guys?
All right, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
And looks like the one ingredient I see is crab. Ends with ab, it has to be rad, I guess, right?
That's right. This is domestic jumbo lump crab meat. It's phenomenal. It's really a product of U.S. and it's awesome. As you can see the size of them, they're nice and big. It's better than the stuff that comes from overseas that really are very shredded and small claw meat. So I really like to enjoy using this because it's easier with fork too to pick up and enjoy your salad. And so today what I'm going to prepare for you is one of Blue Mangrove's favorite salads. And so what we're going to do is we're actually just going to go ahead and make the dressing. So what I did was I just started this so you don't have to hear the blender noise a little earlier. So what I put in here was just a small white onion. I chopped it up, put it in there. Half a bell pepper, green bell pepper, chopped, put it in there. Some pickles. If you have pickles at home, throw some pickles in there and kind of like just blend the whole thing. And then when that's all blended in the
it only takes a few seconds.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Just about a minute, it should be done.
Pretty easy.
And then so what I have is a little bit of light mayo here, and what we're going to do is now combine this to make our dressing for the salad. And this is regular chili sauce, So we're going to put some of this in here.
To add like a little spice to it.
Kind of a little bit, yeah. And then I have some Worcestershire, and that's a hard word to pronounce. A lot of people.
Worcestershire, yeah, right.
Worcestershire, right. So we'll put a little bit of Worcestershire in there, some fresh lemon juice. Okay. And then this is obviously at Blue Mangrove. All the salad dressings are made in house. Even our ranch,
that's
blue
nice.
cheese, right? Our balsamic, everything we make in house. So this is. Oh, see if we can get this out. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pour this in there.
So that just takes a few seconds. You put it in the blender, and then you just put a couple ingredients in here.
That's correct.
And then you're just pouring this in.
That's
okay.
right. And then once we put some of that in here, and salt and pepper to taste, really optional is how
Just
much
a
salt and
pinch of
pepper
it,
you like,
okay.
right? That's what I like to do, because sometimes when salads come to the table, people tend to use their own salt and pepper too, so we just don't want to go overwhelming with it. And then we kind of like just mix this together. And
now you have the other ingredients of cucumber and what's that,
and
onions?
Then it's asparagus that we chopped up. And then
okay.
What you and I are going to do now, we're going to make the salad real quick. And so this is pretty much really the dressing that's ready to go. And then over here, we have a nice fresh iceberg. And this time of year, you can see they're nice and firm.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
They're very, very good. And the way that we do the salad at Blue Mangrove, we actually literally serve you half of iceberg.
Oh, that's great.
Right, and it's really just cut just like this in half.
Okay.
And it's plated. Then we have some chopped boiled eggs.
Okay.
So a couple of boiled eggs, chop them up.
That'll add to
throw
it.
that a little bit on top.
Now we're
Believe it or
down to
not, all
about
this
20
flavor
seconds
really
left.
go together well.
Okay.
And then some cherry tomatoes, some asparagus, and some of our lump crab meat.
Well, this looks great.
Oh yeah,
You know,
this is a very, very good meal. And then some of our dressing that goes right over it.
now, if you want this recipe or others, just go to our webpage and click on the dining tab, and you'll see everything there. This looks really, really good. I really appreciate you
There you
coming
have it.
on.
My
Thanks
pleasure.
so much.
Thank you.
And we'll be right back. Stay with us.
At Boys and Girls Clubs, it's not just about trying new things.
Tanya, come here.
Learning the right steps,
2, 3, 4.
or making contact. It's not just about exploring the future. It's about helping them build it. It's about making a connection. It's about proving every kid and teen who enters our doors has what it takes. Great futures start here.
The following message is brought to you by Mesobook.com.
People who have been diagnosed with mesothelioma have many questions. How did I get this disease? What are my treatment options? How will this affect my loved ones? You need answers, which is why we offer a free book written by medical professionals who have treated mesothelioma.
Call toll-free at 1-800-777-1366 or go to Mesobook.com.
What to expect when you're expecting a teenager.
Today we're talking about how to wake up your teen, and this works literally every time.
Good kisses. Good kisses. You heard how loud
I heard. It wasn't you. It was the...
Is that bacon? You don't have to know it all to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
For more than 100 years, American Humane Association has been teaching kids to be kind to animals. Those in our homes, on the farms, on the silver screen, and wildlife conservation, caring for the world's vanishing creatures. But we can't do it alone. Visit kindness100.org to find ways to teach kids how they can make a more caring, compassionate, and humane world for all of us.
Once you get atrial fibrillation, you need to have a very close relationship with your primary doctor. Prevention is the whole ball game here, because once you have a stroke, you can't undo it. A year without stroke, it's a year that you can enjoy doing the things that you've worked all your life to finally get to do. You took care of yourself. You did what is necessary for you to be around one more year. And then next year, we'll celebrate one more year without a stroke.
A promise was made, a promise that hit the beaches of Normandy, a vow that captured Iwo Jima, a contract that weathered Tet. a pledge that stormed the desert in Iraq, an IOU that braved IEDs in Kandahar. A promise was made to America's veterans. DAV fights to keep that promise, so all veterans and their families get the benefits and support they earned. For help, visit DAV.org.
Coming up, a New York congressman facing federal insider trading charges refuses to resign. Plus, the official death toll in Puerto Rico makes a dramatic jump, while the territory now claims more than 1,400 people died from Hurricane Maria. And Manatee County schools get ready to serve thousands of meals a day starting on Monday.
You're watching ABC 7 News at 12:30.
Welcome back. Our top story at 12:30. New details on a New York congressman arrested for insider trading. Republican Chris Collins now says he's staying in the race for re-election this fall. ABC's Emily Rao is in New York with how this could affect November midterms.
Republican Chris Collins is vowing to clear his name.
The charges that have been levied against me are meritless.
Even promising to stay on the ballot for re-election while fighting federal charges. The potential scandal, a shot in the arm for his Democratic opponent in a reliably red district.
While he was bragging about making millionaires in D.C. and using the people's house for that purpose, he was not serving the people of NY27.
The accusations of insider trading and lying to the FBI potentially jeopardizing Collins' GOP seat in Congress.
Congressman Collins acted as if the law didn't apply to him.
Federal prosecutors say Collins, a board member on the pharmaceutical company Innate Immunotherapeutics, got an email during this White House picnic last year. The CEO told Collins about a failed drug trial, and according to the indictment, just a minute later, he started calling his son Cameron multiple times to tip him off.
The crime that he committed was to tip his son Cameron so that Cameron and a few select others could trade on the news while the investing public remained in the dark.
Authorities say those select few dumping their shares of the company, avoiding nearly $800,000 in losses when the stock price plunged by 92% 4 days later.
Collins was the first sitting congressman to support then-candidate Donald Trump. The president, though, has yet to weigh in on the charges or come to Collins' defense. Emily Rao, ABC News, New York.
Developing right now out of Indonesia, another earthquake, this time 5.9 magnitude. It comes just 4 days after a 6.9 quake devastated the area. Right now, the death toll stands at nearly 320 people. Relief agencies say it could be days before the full extent of the damage from the quake is really known. Happening today, the 5 people arrested at a New Mexico compound where nearly a dozen malnourished children were rescued are due back in court. The suspects all face charges of child abuse in connection with 11 children found living in horrible conditions last week. Authorities say the children were dressed in dirty rags and no shoes and have now been taken into protective custody. The compound was raided as part of a search for a little boy abducted from Georgia in November. The boy has not been found, but investigators did find the remains of a child at the compound on Monday. A California appeals court rules Brock Turner's convictions will stand. The former Stanford University swimmer asked the court to overturn 3 convictions from a 2015 incident where he sexually assaulted an unconscious woman. His lawyer argued there was not enough evidence to support those convictions, but all 3 justices agreed the argument lacked merit. Turner's case garnered headlines in 2016 when a judge sentenced him to just 6 months in jail. Prosecutors were asking for 6 years. That light sentence resulted in the judge's removal from the bench.
Is a lying, unrepentant sex predator who never showed real remorse for his crimes. And this decision by the appellate court really shows why he never deserved the light sentence that Judge Persky gave him.
Walking out right now.
Turner ultimately only served 3 months of his sentence because the jail was overcrowded. After nearly a year after hurricane devastated Puerto Rico, government officials are finally confirming the death toll is more than what they initially reported, nearly 20 times more. In a report posted online, Puerto Rican officials acknowledged more than 1,400 people likely died in the aftermath of Hurricane Maria, a significant increase from the official death toll of just 64. The figures come from death registry statistics released in June, but never publicly acknowledged by officials on the island. Happening across the state, a Jacksonville Beach police officer is recovering after being shot at least twice last night outside of a Waffle House restaurant. The officer was driving when he was first shot, and then he approached the suspect, who was running away, and caught up to him with 2 additional officers. That's when more shots were fired, hitting the suspect and the officer. The officer is in stable condition and expected to make a full recovery. Well, check out the new video of algal blooms just an hour and a half south of Sarasota. Crews are being hired to come in and clean up a green gunk in Cape Coral. So far, one of the yacht clubs there is being cleaned up. There are many, though, are concerned it's just a temporary solution to a bigger problem.
I think that it's necessary that we try to clean it the best that we can. But the problem is it will keep reoccurring as Lake Okeechobee is releasing more and more water.
The best solution would be stopping the cause of the algae, what's generating it to bloom and expand.
County officials say they're doing what they can with the $700,000 grant for cleanup and safe removal. They started in North Fort Myers and will continue to work in other locations. Mote Marine Lab is taking action to protect sea turtles from red tide. We are in the midst of sea turtle nesting season, and many of the hatchlings are heading out into the Gulf. Mote Marine took dozens of hatchlings out on Monday and released them at the Sargassum Weed Line, which provides shelter and a mode of transportation for these baby turtles. This line is far offshore, past the red tide blooms, helping to make sure the hatchlings are not released into red tide waters. Meteorologist Josh Stone joins us again now for our first alert weather. In for John today, and we're off to a hot start on this Thursday.
We are upper 80s, low 90s, and the feel-like temperature is actually in the hundreds in some locations, almost the 104 I think I saw last. So we'll show you that in a little bit, but obviously the big story right now is the red tide, and this report came out yesterday stretching from Manatee County down to Charlotte County. We have high reports of it, and the wind's not helping anything because we are going to have, unfortunately, a southwest and westerly wind that will blow that that irritation that we feel in the air inland. So it's not too good of a situation for us. As far as the temperatures go, upper 80s around the Sun Coast. I'll show you the heat index a little bit later, but it is hot. As far as the radar goes, a little activity just offshore of the Sun Coast, but nothing on land. I think the showers and storms that will be a little bit bigger will get going later on this afternoon or early this evening. Highs again will be warm, and we'll talk more about it coming up.
Josh, thank you. All week long, we're preparing you to send your kids back to school on Monday. Today, we're focusing on school lunches. ABC 7's Marla Spence is in Manatee County with how schools there are preparing for the new school year.
In just a few days, students will be walking through serving lines just like these in Manatee County schools. The district's aim is to provide a variety of choices that are a lot healthier this new school year.
The idea now is to be creative, to give them products that they might see out in restaurants. One of the things we're doing in high schools is they're going to have more build your own, so they'll have potato bar. We've always done a burrito bar, a popcorn chicken bar, so they like those things where they can make choices of toppings.
These choices contain grains and proteins required by the state. Parents and students can take a look at the menu on an app called NutriSlice. You can also use the app to add money to a student's lunch account if they do not receive free lunch. Regina Toma, the Director of Food and Nutrition Services, says unlike those students, 60 to 65% of Manatee County students will receive free lunch this year, which is based on income. She tells us almost half of Manatee County schools are also a part of the USDA Community Eligibility Lunch Program, which provides balanced, low-cost free lunches to students each school year.
So at all schools, breakfast is free, but at those 23 schools, lunch is also free.
This year, Southeast High School will be among those schools. Right now, cafeteria workers across Manatee County have been stocking away freshly delivered food items and making sure refrigerators, stoves, and freezers are in tip-top shape. I'm Marla Spence reporting for ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
Marla, thank you. In Sarasota County, the district's new startup police department is continuing to grow. The district swearing in 2 sergeants and 12 officers. The new department's initial focus will be on the district's younger students.
Our plan for this year is to serve the elementary schools and to allow our law enforcement partners, who we have long-standing agreements with, to provide officers at our middle and high school to continue to serve there. And then in the following year, we'll move into our middle and high schools.
The goal is to staff all of the district's elementary schools with SROs by the end of the year. Next year, that mission will expand to include all middle and high schools in the district. Sarasota Police Department's Pack the Patrol Car initiative is nearing an end. Officers are collecting supplies for kids in need before school starts. You can still stop by until tomorrow night at the police station near Payne Park in downtown Sarasota and drop off any donations. Last year, the department collected more than 2,000 school supplies. For a full list of what they're looking for, just go to our website, mysuncoast.com, and look for this story. Coming up tonight on ABC 7 News at 7, the Manatee County School Board has had a year full of ups and downs, fights, feuds, missed accomplishments, coupled with a past referendum and more financial transparency. Now 3 school board seats are up for grabs, and tonight the focus is on District 4. 4 men are vying for the seat. You can see them all at the Trapezoid tonight, only at 7. Caught on camera, you've heard of shopping sprees, but some women in Charlotte County are accused of a shoplifting spree. Now, deputies say the women stole a deli chicken and lemonade from the Walmart on Murdoch Circle in Port Charlotte Tuesday. They're also charged with several additional thefts over the past week at that Walmart, an Old Navy, and a Macy's store at the Port Charlotte Town Center. Deputies say a loss prevention employee at Walmart recognized them from a previous theft 2 weeks ago. Still to come in your Suncoast News, why Frontier Airlines could be in hot water after leaving 2 kids in a hotel room overnight when their flight was diverted without telling their parents.
Did you know you could get life insurance for less than 32 cents a day? With Guaranteed Acceptance whole life insurance through TrueStage, you can get up to $25,000 in protection with a single phone call. TrueStage can help free your family from immediate financial stress when you're gone.
Utility bills, mortgages, car payments, those are a lot of things that can add up pretty fast.
And even if you're on a fixed income, prices fit your budget, starting at less than 32 cents a day. Plus, your price will never increase and your benefit will never decrease. And with no medical tests or health questions, you cannot be turned down for any reason. Call 1-800-842-7189. Now, for a free, no-obligation quote, TrueStage offers plans to fit your budget. Help protect your family from immediate financial burdens after you're gone with Guaranteed Acceptance whole life insurance through TrueStage. Call 1-800-842-7189 now.
If you think it's hot outside, just wait until you see even hotter savings inside. Only at Rugs As Art Hot Summer Savings Sale event will you find the lowest prices on a vast selection of stunning rugs, furniture accents, and accessories. This special event only happens once a year, so hurry in before the best selections are gone. The Hot Summer Savings event ends soon, so don't miss out on the best prices ever. Rugs As Art, Sarasota's only area rug superstore.
Did you know that a dirty Cpap system could make you sick? If you knew what could be growing in your mask and hose, it would keep you up at night. Now, SoClean.com has released the world's first automated hands-free Cpap cleaner and sanitizer. With its patented design, SoClean is fast, effective, and hands-free, killing 99.9% of all Cpap germs and bacteria. Try SoClean now through this special TV offer, risk-free for 30 days. Just call 800-604-0398.
The SoClean works, and it's a really effective product, and I couldn't believe how easy it was to use.
SoClean works on all popular Cpap machines and masks, destroying Cpap germs and bacteria without the daily hassle of washing your system by hand. Just place your mask in, close the lid, and walk away. Voila! Sanitized and ready to use. Try SoClean risk-free for 30 days. This is a limited-time offer. Call now, 800-604-0398. Or visit SoClean.com today.
Tomorrow at 9 on Suncoast View.
It's the end of summer vacation. I'm Joey Panic. On Suncoast View, we wrap up our back-to-school week with a ride on a school bus to help students and drivers get ready to be extra cautious on the roads for a new school year. An experienced mom has tips on what not to forget when packing your kid for college, plus on Golden Pond on stage at the Players Center, and Spice and Tea Exchange in the kitchen.
Tomorrow at 9 on Suncoast View.
Good Thursday afternoon to you. I'm meteorologist Josh Stone in for John Scalzi today. He's been off all week, well deserved, and well, we have some activity on the radar, but most of this is up by the Nature Coast, or the Big Bend of Florida, well to the north of us. However, just offshore, this popped up, a little shower, no lightning coming out of it. We're going to watch this. Looks like this afternoon with a sea breeze tracking further inland. The convergence will be probably east of I-75, and a few isolated storms will get going. Now, it is warm out there. Man, upper 80s, low 90s. It's 91 in Lake Placid and 90 in Sebring, 88 here in Sarasota. But you factor what it actually feels like, and look at this. You live here in Arcadia, you are feeling toasty right now. 104 degrees. It feels like 105 in Punta Gorda at this time. So it is warm, and it's going to continue to stay this way. What we have here is area of high pressure. We've been monitoring this over the last few days. It was up to the northeast of Florida. It's slowly been sliding southward. A trough of low pressure kind of pushing it southward. As it has been going south, we first started with a northeasterly wind, then an easterly wind, and that's what gave us the shower activity right along the coastline. You had that sea breeze convergence push all the way across the state from the east towards the west. And our natural sea breeze off the Gulf met right basically around the coastline. We had those afternoon storms right on top of us if you live on the coast. But as this slowly moves southward, the return flow around it will come up from the southwest and west, pushing the natural sea breeze that we get every afternoon further inland. And so it looks like as we get into the weekend, those heavier storms will be inland well east of I-75 and then continue to push east. Also areas of low pressure helping to feed that moisture in to our area. You can see what happens here this afternoon. Some of the bigger storms fire up east, and then they move east. They get pushed east because the steering winds are now coming out of the west. All right, with the tropics, we're still monitoring Tropical Storm Debbie. Not really doing anything, moving to the north and east, and it's going to be out of the picture pretty soon. The rest of the tropics looks pretty quiet at this time. Our high today tops out at 90, but it's warm. Feels like over 100 in some locations, and partly cloudy skies, few storms inland. Another transition day tomorrow. Not much activity on the radar for tomorrow other than maybe some inland storms that will be isolated. And then the weekend, a little more widespread storms, but those will be inland and push eastward. Same situation for back to school. And then the winds shift to the southeast and east into early to mid next week, and then we'll get more coastal storms by Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Scott?
All right, Josh, thank you. In consumer news, a travel nightmare for a young brother and sister. Their flight getting diverted overnight, landing them in a hotel alone. ABC's Adrian Bankert explains why their parents say the airline never called to tell them what was going on.
The parents of Carter Gray and his sister Etta are furious after they say Frontier Airlines made their 9- and 7-year-olds spend the night in a hotel with 4 other unaccompanied minors and a female airline employee after their flight was diverted to another city. They claim their 9-year-old was put in the same bed as a 14-year-old he just met.
For the next 3 nights, Carter had nightmares.
It all began when the siblings' flight headed from Des Moines, Iowa to Orlando was diverted to Atlanta, then canceled due to storms. The parents say the airline never contacted them directly or asked their permission to put the kids in a hotel.
I think I was starting to boil over after every minute that was going by.
They say that shortly after midnight, Carter used another child's phone to contact his father. Then at 4:23 a.m., they say they received a text from Carter telling them an airline employee had taken him, his sister, and other kids to a hotel.
It was very infuriating and very outraged. I think both Jennifer and I would have drove to Atlanta.
Carter and Etta were finally flown home the next day, but their parents say they remained frightened by the ordeal.
He woke up in the middle of the night numerous times. He asked to sleep in the bed with me.
The airline disputes the parents' claims and says the children spoke to their mom before ever leaving for the hotel and that a supervisor was able to reach the father the next morning. Frontier Airlines also tells ABC News in a statement, in keeping with Frontier's policy, the children were attended to at all times by a Frontier supervisor, placed in a hotel room overnight, and provided with food.
That was ABC's Adrian Bankert reporting. The parents added that now they're just happy that their kids are back home safe after such a long trip away from home. Well, Apple's trying to assure users that iPhones are not listening or recording conversations around them. Apple is insisting that iPhones do not listen to what users are saying throughout the day and instead only listens when it's triggered by the words, "Hey Siri." The tech giant also says there's a visual indicator that lets users know when Siri is listening to a request. If you want to work for Amazon, you don't actually have to work at Amazon. The company is now advertising more than 200 full-time jobs that let you work from home. Some require you to be in specific locations. They want people in places like Miami and Milwaukee, but others, like software developers, can work from anywhere. Amazon says they plan to expand these virtual jobs in the years to come. The state has released a new version of the University of South Florida license plate. This is the first redesign of this plate since way back 2004. It will now feature a green background instead of white, and the bull logo is also larger. $25 from every plate purchase goes back to USF for scholarships, student programs, and alumni activities, and more than 15,000 drivers already have these plates on their vehicles. Still to come in your Suncoast News, the big change is coming to the Oscars, what the Academy is doing to try to get more popular movies involved in the competition.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
This is an important message for anyone with Medicare. You may be eligible for an all-in-one Medicare plan that combines hospital, medical, and prescription drug coverage together with extra benefits that may include dental, vision, hearing aids, and much more. Some of these plans have a $0 monthly premium regardless of your income. That's right. For one low plan premium, or in some cases a $0 premium, you may be able to get coverage for your hospital visits, doctor appointments, prescription drugs, routine dental care, eyeglasses and contact lenses, hearing aids, and possibly more. Today may be the first time you've heard about this type of Medicare plan. The advisors at the Medicare.com helpline are licensed insurance agents who will explain more when you call. Call now to see if you qualify. Call the number on your screen now. Call now to see if you qualify for these benefits. You worked hard for your Medicare. Now is the time for your Medicare to work hard for you. Not affiliated with or acting on behalf of any government agency or program.
At Tidewell Hospice, we know it's never too late to say thank you to our military veterans. The Tidewell Honors Veterans Program has provided care to more than 13,000 military families since 2008. Tidewell volunteers help honor veterans through special pinning ceremonies that demonstrate our appreciation for the freedom our veterans fought to defend. If you know a veteran who can benefit from end-of-life care, call or visit tidewell.org today. Tidewell Hospice. It's more than you think.
If you're looking for the perfect trip that allows you to spend quality time with a family, then discover the great outdoors on an Alabama Black Belt adventure. Create unforgettable memories while hunting, fishing, or biking and hiking. Or play the Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail, now celebrating 25 years. And while you're here, enjoy the flavors of the Black Belt. Book your adventure at our lodges or stay in the Renaissance Montgomery Hotel and Spa. Start planning an Alabama Black Belt adventure today.
There was this big bruise on my friend's face. I didn't want to see it. I didn't want to think her own nephew could have hit her.
I didn't want to see it. My mother's bank account was emptied, and a caregiver had taken control of it.
I didn't want to see it. My father's refrigerator. There was hardly anything in it. That's unusual for him.
It's tough to see that a senior citizen is being abused, physically, emotionally, sexually, or financially. Elder abuse is a crime.
So see the signs. Stop the crimes.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
Coming up later today on ABC 7 News at 4, a look at the devastating effect of red tide on marine life in our area. Plus, the pilot program that helps families who are taking care of children in the foster care system with back-to-school shopping. Hope you'll join us later this afternoon at 4. In entertainment news, it's still early August, but Halloween is creeping up fast, so a classic scary movie is heading back to theaters ahead of that holiday. Rick Damangella shows us which one in the Hollywood Minute.
Permission to come aboard.
The Dweller in the Depths will go it alone. EW reports director James Wan has confirmed Aquaman won't feature other superheroes from the DC Extended Universe. Jason Momoa plays the aquatic hero who made his big screen debut in Batman vs. Superman: Dawn of Justice. Aquaman swims into theaters December 21st.
When the fog returns to Antonio Bay, the men at the bottom of the sea rise up.
Just in time for Halloween, The Fog creeps back into theaters. John Carpenter's 1980 horror yarn is getting a 4K restoration for screening starting October 26th. The movie will bow in New York, LA, and Chicago before heading to specialty cinemas.
Your mother created our world. My mother made all of this.
Here's a sneak peek at Disney's The Nutcracker and the Four Realms. The fantasy based on Tchaikovsky's ballet stars Mackenzie Foy, Keira Knightley as the Sugar Plum Fairy, and Morgan Freeman as Drosselmeyer. The movie pirouettes into theaters November 2nd. In Hollywood, I'm Rick Damigella.
So big changes are coming to the Oscars. The Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences has announced a new category for achievement in popular film. It's one of several changes the Academy plans to make. It says it will now keep the show within a 3-hour window. It also plans to broadcast the ceremony earlier, starting in 2020. The 2019 edition is already set, though, for February 24th.
2, 1. Woo! Yeah! Yeah!
Well, talk about hang time. How about Harlem Globetrotter star Bull Bullard? He pulled off a trick basketball shot from inside an airplane in New Jersey. He leaned out of the plane and then dropped that ball right into the hoop that was set up on a landing strip. They were going 70 miles an hour, and look at that. He timed it just right. Nothing but net. This was the first shot made by a Globetrotter from an airplane, and since then has gone viral on social media with thousands of likes and views. That is incredible. I wonder how many takes it took.
Who knows, but only the Harlem Globetrotters pull that off.
Have a great day, everyone. See you at 4.
Our nation's servicemen and women show great courage and leadership both on and off the battlefield. When they transition to civilian life, they can apply the skills and values they learned in the military to the workplace. That's why the Coalition to Salute America's Heroes is urging employers everywhere to be smart, bet on a vet. Hiring a veteran is also a great way to show your appreciation for them. To learn more, call 1-888-44-SALUTE.
Me, pick me. Oh, come on, man. Oh, man, I love technology. Hey, yo, check out my new phone. Look at this right here. For years, the DeSoto Club has needed improvements. Join me and Boys and Girls Club of Manatee County as we raise money to build a brand new facility. It will be bigger and better, just like it was 40 years ago when I attended. Invest in kids. Build great futures.
Coast Guard, we are taking on water.
The United States Coast Guard. They secure our ports and waterways, protect our environment, keep drugs away from our kids, and save lives. It's dangerous work. And in times of triumph or tragedy, the Coast Guard Foundation answers the call to support Coast Guard members and their families. Learn more at coastguardfoundation.org.
My name is Haley. I have Fragile X syndrome. I work with Chartwells at Einstein's and FAU. I like being up front and interacting with students. The students are very nice and very hungry. Having a job is a big ticket for independence.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to disabilitieswork.employflorida.com.
Watch Good Morning Suncoast on ABC 7, weekdays starting at 5.